What's going on, guys? It's Colteor here with another CI6 Round 3 narration for you. We have Triangles versus Kerts this time, and this is a matchup I'm really looking forward to, having teamed with both of these guys. We've got Triangles on the left, who, if you know ADV history at all, you'll have seen Triangles a million times. He's played in SPL, he's written analyses, he's probably topped the ladder a million times. He's just contributed to the tier a lot, and he's been around for a long time, well over 10 years at this point. So, yeah, looking to make a good run this year for sure. He won, I believe it was CI 3? Yeah, CI 3, just checked that. And frankly, he could certainly do it again this year, although he is off to a poor start being in the lower bracket this early. Crazier things have certainly happened. And on the right, we have Kerts, who certainly not to be underestimated himself. He's one of the biggest ladder guys ever, really. Topped ladder with his Jolt Spikes a bunch and plenty of other teams. Seen some cool stuff from him this tour, like Regirock and some other fizz-off stuff. So yeah, without too much more rambling, let's get into the narration, folks. So, Triangles on the left, Kerts on the right. We've got lead Zap versus lead Tyre. Pretty common interaction. Tyre, of course, favored. Gonna miss the rock slide as Milo comes in. Standard play from both, really. Don't know if that's a CB Tyre or not, in which case rock slide would have done quite a bit. But remains to be seen. Milo just gonna surf as Skyrim comes in, and we do see a mag from Triangle, so it remains to be seen what he wants to support with that mag, because obviously neither Milo nor Zap require it, but could be something like a DD Ments in the back that appreciates it, or could be this. Dawn fan certainly appreciates Skyrim Gone. Mag Doll is the usual style for mag spin, but Mag Dawn certainly works as well. Kerts gonna block Dawn fan's rapid spin with the Gar. Skyrim did manage to get one layer down when it died, but not more than that. Dawn fan, of course, nowhere near as good as 1v1 and Gar as Claydol is. So it's going to have to get out of the way. Some switching later, we end up with Milo versus Tyre, and that does not look like it's CB damage to me. 29 with Earthquake. Milo is still going to recover because of the spike as Zap comes in and roars out, trying to get a little more information on Triangle's teams here. And we end up with Zap versus Zap. Remains to be seen if any status is going to come down. Do see a T-Wave from Triangles as Tarantar comes in for Kerts. Kerts going to focus punch the Milo, force a recover. Sorry folks, I'm a little under the weather, as you might be able to tell. Milo recovers again as Zap comes in. 2 unrevealeds for both. This could be tough for Triangles if he doesn't have a good win con, but I suspect at least one of his last 2 will be just that. Well, that's certainly not a win con, but it is good against Zapdos. We see Rest Magneton. What is it, going to have Sleep Talk? Pressure the tires it comes in? It does have Sleep Talk, but it only pulls Rest, so not doing much good there. Tyre going to focus punch into the Milo, but with the Milo having recover and the Magneton having rest, Triangles could keep this up for really as long as until he gets crit, honestly. Mag gonna come back in, eats hidden power, probably grass for nothing. And with Sleep Talk, it's probably gonna beat the Zap 1v1 if it tries to stay in, unless Kerts also has rest Zap. And it took quite a bit from that T-Bolt, so it might not be rest Zap. To see another Sleep Talk from Meg. Has its full moveset been revealed? No, it could still have HP Grass. And given that it clicked it against Pert, resisted by Zap, I'd say it is HP Grass. So Rest Talk, HP Grass, Meg, interesting set, and good lord. This Mag's putting in a ton of work. It just crit the Tyranitar as it came in, and because Tyre is parried, this is going to be a very safe T-Bolt again. Magneton now has 2 kills this game, folks, and is still kicking. Milo's going to come in, eat the Earthquake for obviously nothing. And here comes Zapdos again, sure, but unless it has a way to pressure the Rest Hawk Magneton, this could be a tough game for Kerts. Remains to be seen what his last is, but if it's something like a meta, it's obviously not going to do much good. And it doesn't seem to be anything like a Flygon, because that would have came in by now. So there we go, folks. Pert going to come in on the T-Bolt and Earthquake Mag into dust, but not before it eats HP Grass for 88%. Easily the most work I've ever seen a Magneton put in one of these in CI6 so far. And it's going to be 3 to 5 for triangles, and that is most certainly a Rest Zap on his side, so he's got 2 sleep-talking electrics here. Triangles looks way ahead. He might not even need to reveal his last 2 Pokemon. This Zapdos might just be enough to get there. T-Bolt again on the full para certainly helps. I guess it could just be a super bulky Zap without Rest, because it has it's revealed T-Wave, which is uncommon on Rest Zap. Kerts' last is Arrow, which against the full health Donphan is really, really unexciting. Note that it also has to get through a Milo if it wants to do much. And whatever Triangle's lasts are, which, I mean, hopefully include a good Gengar answer, because, yeah, Rest Zap, or this Zapdos doesn't look too good if it comes in on a Ice Punch or a T-Bolt now. Luckily, Triangles has a fantastic Gengar answer in the Pursuing Houndoom. Gonna need a T-Bolt here, but Gengar, well, it's either a really bulky Gar or a non-modest Houndoom, because Pursuit is not gonna 2-hit KO even on the stay-in. Oh, never mind, he just got a really bad roll the first time. It is gonna 2-hit KO the Gar. And, yeah, here's Arrow. He's gonna need several crits here. I don't know if crit double edge is even going to be enough against the Milo. Maybe it will with the spike, but still. And yeah, Toxic, this Arrow is likely dead. Unless Kerts gets some insane luck and Triangles also throws, I think the game is done. So we're not going to get to see Triangles last, but this is certainly a kind of wild team from him. We've got, honestly, this team could be from 2022 or 2007, folks. Got Houndoom and Donphan, supported by Mag and Milotic, with the especially bulky Zapdos. It's a good team for this matchup, certainly. He felt really in control of the game. Kerts didn't have much of a chance. Kerts barely had a chance against just the Magneton set, let alone the rest of the team. So yeah, that was a one-sided game, folks. Kerts, pretty standard, effective TSS with Arrow, is going to be blown out of the water by the 2007 squad. On to game 2, folks, and if Kerts loses this one, he's going to be he's going to be out of the tournament, so a lot to play for if he wants to bring it back, even to Game 3. So, and Smeargle lead versus Zapdos. Certainly, this is going to be a much faster pace from Triangles here. It's going to Spore the Zap, however, it does get Sleep Talk. And Zapdos just going to 2-hit KO with T-Bolt through the sleep. Regice comes in. This has been an unusually popular Mon this CI. Ice Beam as Fori comes in, but HP Fire is very possible here. Doesn't seem to have it as he just goes for T-Bolt instead. However, between that and the Ice Beam, this Fori's getting pretty low. Might have to Boom here. Just opts to Spike, sure. Oh, but he barely lives the next T-Bolt and gets a Boom off. That's a pretty huge roll. That could definitely determine this game. We're going to see Starmie come in from Triangles as Blissey is sent in to absorb the T-Bolt. spin, and Blissey actually has aromatherapy, so the Zapdos is now awake. Probably a rest Suicune as well then. And here's Metagross from Triangles. It's not CB, which means it could be Agility. Gets a Mash Raise, but it's not going to matter because it misses as Zapdos goes for Roar. A couple switches later, and the full team revealed for Triangles. Going to slow it down here, folks. Triangles with Gar Flygon in the back. What might be a CB Gon. Oh no, it was a crit. Yeah. I thought it was CB Gon damage, but it just crit the Coon for 58. Switches up to Rock Slide as Kerts reveals his own Flygon to be his last, which is obviously not going to have much to touch the Gengar. However, given the Fori and the Flygon, I'd say it's definitely a Pursuit tire from Kerts. Triangle's just going to Wisp. Is he going to have something like Giga Drain, maybe, to give him an edge, or even a fighting move, perhaps? No, he's just going to switch out and does live. However, even something minor like Rock Slide from the Flygon will KO it now, so Gengar is severely crippled by that. Kerts looking good, especially if he keeps getting those Meteor Mash misses. Suicune, pretty hard to switch into here. Triangle's only real option is a offensive Starmie, or just trying to 1v1 it with Meta, but that'll leave Meta really low. And, well, there's the rest. So now if Meta wants to beat this Suicune, it's going to have to boom first, which is obviously not preferred. And he could end up booming onto something less valuable, like the Pursuit tire that's already hit the Gengar. Don't see that, though. It's just going to keep clicking Earthquake as Suicune stays asleep for one more turn. Suicune is faster, so if Kerts wants, he can surf and force a little damage before taking another nap. Or he could just rest again, play it safe. It does opt to surf as the Starmie comes in. So Suicune going to be forced out at pretty low health here. And its Triangles does manage to get Metagross back in as well on the Blissey. He's doing what he can to stay in this game, folks. Really. Fuck. Apologies. Triangle's really coming back in this game, folks. He mashes into the Suicune and it's now forced to rest again. So Gar will be able to come in. However, Tire's still really healthy, even with the burn. Unless Gar has something like HP Grass, it won't 2 KO it from here. However, he does get a good double off as the Suit Tire comes in to Flygon, which could cause some real trouble if it has something like Toxic for Kerts' Flygon, which is exactly what happens. Earthquake, Rock Slide, Toxic, last move, likely just HP Bug there. And, jeez. Triangle's making another good move, doubles Metagross in on Bliss. It's going to be forced out right away. Here comes the sleeping Suicune. It can technically take the Earthquakes, but can't actually retaliate and doesn't have Ice Beam, most likely, so going to be tough for it to actually pressure the Flygon. Flygon comes in on the Earthquake, tries to go for its own Toxic, but just blanks as the meta comes in. And double back, yeah, if this sequence keeps repeating himself with Triangles going to Flygon on as Kerts goes to Suicune, Triangles will eventually win with the Toxic damage, so Kerts is going to have to think of something to win here. I did like his position earlier, but now it's looking a little difficult. Miss Toxic again, but it doesn't matter as the Metagross comes in. Kerts going to have to start trying to figure something out if he wants to pull this game back. Suicune again, sure, but it's asleep and the Gar is in, so a couple T-bolts and Suicune's going to be feeling the heat. Blissey comes in, and we do see that the Gengar has Giga Drain. So it does have a good way to hit the Pursuit Tower and get some health back. Not going to do much to Blissey, however. And we don't actually see Aromatherapy there. I was thinking that we would see it from Kerts, but nope. Back to Suit Tower. Meta gets out of the way of a potential Fire Blast. As I think what was happening there. Or he was just trying to double Gengar in on Suicune again, which he has been doing super reliably, to Triangle's credit. And, well, this time Blissey does likely click Aromatherapy, but it's going to be too little too late as Gengar goes for a well-timed boom. And just like that, Offstar is looking really threatening. The only thing standing between it and a clean sweep is that Zapdos, but, well, it is Rest Talk Zapdos to be fair, but if it does get chipped and forced to rest, Triangles could still crit or freeze. Yeah, tough game to call, folks. I think either player could still win from here. And I do see Meta coming back in on the Suicune. Double out, Triangle's getting Starmie in. Suicune just trying to burn some sleep turns here so it can eventually wake up and start being a threat again. However, for now, it's just going to give Starmie free reign. Speed this up a little bit again. So yeah, the Flygon will permanently wall that Rest Zap unless it gets toxicked by Kerts' Flygon. There it is. Kerts, that meta's came in on Flygon too many times to avoid Earthquakes. And good move from Kerts. Earthquake into the meta as Triangles tries to go for another double, and then another Toxic. So now the Rest Zap does beat the Flygon because it's Toxic. So this is going to be really tough for Triangles. Offstar, of course, still a threat, but yeah, he can just sack this Pursuit Tower now, really. As the Gyre is dead and there's not much other use for it. Triangles is going to be low on Hydro PP, although he doesn't really need it for any of the remaining Pokemon. Damn, and that play is probably going to seal the game, folks. Triangle's trying to pivot around and get Starmie in as much as he can, but he's punished by a double T-Bolt from the Zapdos. T-Bolt's into Flygon as Triangles goes to Starmie. And now I think this is going to be a super tough game for Triangles to win, especially with meta being as chipped as it is and Flygon being toxic. The Suicune and the Rest Zap combined can pretty much just stall out anything Triangles is going to try and do here. And I'd say, barring some nonsense from the meta, we are going to see a Game 3 here, folks. Flygon goes down, and it's all up to meta now. And Surf, sure. Agility is just what Triangles is going to need to win this game. But even still, he's... Well, actually, hold on. If he's Agility Rock Slide, he may have just won. Depending on how much the Zapdos takes here, but he is not Rock Slide. But hold on, he's not Rock Slide, but T-Bolt doesn't kill. Oh my god! He got the T-Bolt roll he needed, but he missed the second Meteor Mash. That is tragic, folks. Flygon was at 42 in Toxic, so it would have likely died to Mash, I think. Wow, that is sad. Well, it's good in the sense we get a Game 3, but if you were Triangles right there, you have got to be upset over that. That is a very relevant bit of hacks right at the end of the game. Hopefully he can... I think Triangles should be good at getting out of the tilt, though, and focusing on Game 3, which is something that we are going to focus on after I get some more water. There we go. And here we go, folks. Triangles with a meta lead against Kerts Zapdos. Again, two very standard leads. Not very standard responses, though. Kerts going to meta as Triangles goes to Claydol. And the insta-boom from Kerts. So if he's got a spiker in the back, it is not going to be spun by Triangles, that's for sure. Remains to be seen if it was CB meta or not, though. I'd say it probably was, just by the way Kerts played it, but we don't know for sure from damage rules. Meanwhile, this Zapdos has been paralyzed and is just trying to 1v1 the Blissey by staying in and spamming T-Bolt. Triangles does reveal a Ludicolo before going back to Blissey. And finally, the paralyzed Zapdos is going to switch out as Pert comes in. Goes for an Earthquake, which is going to blank on the Skarm. So, Skarm Ludi from Triangles. That's an interesting combination. Thief, so the Pert doesn't have lefties anymore, which could be big if there's something like a DD Tar in the back. Or hell, even just with the meta in the back. That's already been revealed. It can get past that Swampert a lot easier now. We do see Leech Seed from Ludicolo. This might just be the sort of bulky support Ludicolo instead of a Rain Dance sweeper on this kind of team. Unless the last from Triangles is something like a Dugtrio. So yeah, Rain Sweep isn't super well supported outside of Spikes here. Well, we are going to see Ludi come in on the Tar from Kerts. Important to note the Tar doesn't have lefties. And yeah, I'd say that is the support Ludicolo. It surfs into the Jirachi for almost nothing, 29%. But with the Spikes, it will stick. Blissey coming in to take the Psychic from Jirachi as well. Soft-boiled. And if this is DD Tar, it's got a decent setup chance here if it wants to go for it. However, he just goes for Earthquake. That might be a CB Tar at this rate. I haven't seen it actually do damage to anything, so it's hard to tell. Triangle's going to Dragon Claw as Kerts just sacks the Zap, which is fair enough. He was at 50% paralyzed, likely wasn't doing too much for the rest of the game. Jirachi kind of come in, and it is faster, so it's going to scare the Ments out with the threat of Ice Punch. Gets a Spadef drop on the Blissey, and he is going to go for another Psychic, not fearing the T-Wave. He's going to get Bliss low and force a Soft-Boiled, but he's not going to do too much more than that. And there's the T-Wave, as it is Lumtar, not CB. So Blissey going to be forced out at not full health, which is could end up mattering, but honestly, Triangle seems pretty ahead here. It's 5-4, and he doesn't seem to have a great way of getting past. Well, I say that, he has made quite a... Kerts doesn't seem to have a great way of getting past Triangle's defensive core. He is just going to sack the Swampert to Ludicolo as well. If this Ments is DD, it could end up saving things. However, it could also just blank into the Mix Ments and not do much. And Power's going to do 27. That is... Hold on. That is nothing. I'm wondering if this isn't a physically defensive Wish Ments with Dragon Claw filler. Remains to be seen, but... Oh yeah, Dragon Claw does nothing. Only 74 to Kerts' Salamence. Still, he is going to DD. And he is going to DD twice as Triangles tries to sack his Skarmory here. He can't safely DD a third time, however, he's going to have to go for the Rock Slide. Gets intimidated, but he is still at +1. Blissey's in range. Metagross is in range of a +2 Dragon Dance, and Kerts is playing super aggressively. Dragon Dances again, knowing that he would lose if Mets was just to stay in Dragon Claw. He's going to get intimidated again. Can he pull the trigger DD here? He cannot. He is... That's likely the game unless this Mence can get a crit or a rock slide flinch, and it cannot. So Mence is going to go down, and it's all up to Tyranitar to beat a Salamence and a water type. Not looking good for Kerts unless he can get a potential slide flinch or anything, but no, he's simply going to be outsped and die to Brick Break. And that's the series, folks. Triangle's going to win in 3 and proceed to round 4. Kerts going to be eliminated and out 0-2. Or 1-2, rather. From CI6. Interesting teams from both, especially Triangles. Triangles use some real interesting stuff this series. That Ludicolo set in particular we don't see very often at all. It didn't get much of a chance to shine this game, but it put in some good work against the Swampert. And probably would have put in good work against the meta as well, had the meta lived for more than one turn. So yeah, good series and well played by both. I am going to go take a cough drop, and I hope you all have a great day. See you next time.